Imhotep. 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 And it sounds like we're just yawning. That's okay, because the year is 1290. And we're talking here on Movie Theater Time Machine, where we go down into what they're calling this, the Pulp
Adventure Month.
Pulp Adventure Month of Movie Theater Time Machine, and it's 1999. The year that everything should have ended when computers were supposed to go ahead and melt the world. Bill Clinton was in office still for reasons. And things happened and everything was cool and everything was in full swing and Austin Powers was a thing for reasons.
Again, for reasons. I was still in high school.
And I was just starting it. And just why do we say this? Because it was more than 20 years ago.
God.
It's because it was the heyday of Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser, national treasure, internet sensation. Pretty damn good job in this movie.
Yep.
The Mummy, 1999.
Movies who ends up underground.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, there's this theory I have that I looked through this, and if you think about Brendan Fraser's filmography, almost all his movies involve him with a CGI animal or he's underground.
Blast from the Past was pretty good.
And he was underground.
Is a good movie.
Blast from the Past, George of the Jungle.
Yeah, CGI animals.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's not underground.
but it's not him. It's not just him. That's more of an ensemble thing.
Okay, fair.
Yep.
So
With honors, he's not underground or with an animal.
What's that?
Yeah, but Airheads?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the radio station, it was in the basement.
Oh,
Yeah.
what about Encino Man?
But yeah, it dug up.
Dug up
Dug up in a pool, so see.
Yeah.
Fair.
All right.
Yeah. Bedazzled, when I had met the devil was in hell.
Fair.
See, so there's so many things of why this was a pattern I don't really know, but it's something that I want to explore on the internet and make people go, why the hell is he talking about it? Because it's a thing I've noticed, and I notice it, now you have to notice it too, dear listener, while you're probably running in your headset or just sitting around listening to this podcast or cleaning. Now you're thinking of it too. And this is Movie Theater Time Machine, the show where we keep it real to real and where we think about things way too damn much.
Yeah.
My name's Nick.
I'm Kev.
I'm Dan.
I'm Joss.
And today's big extravaganza of this one is the greats here. Brendan Fraser, the Rachel Weisz, John Hannah, Arnold Vosloo, who gets very confused for Billy Zane.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That happened.
Kevin J. O'Connor as Benny, John Hyde, Odin Furr, Eric Avari, Stephen Dunham, Corey Johnson, Tuck Watkins, Ahmad, I'm not going to pronounce the rest of that, Bernard Fox, Patricia Velasquez, and it is some of the names I do not want to butcher, but man, this was a fun one. This is so much damn fun.
I love this movie.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to watch this movie. I kept quoting this movie. Even like the ancient Egyptian, even if that's not actually ancient Egyptian, I was still quoting it.
How many times have you seen it though?
Oh, good lord, I don't even know. So many. So many.
I've seen this a couple of times, but I'm not even exaggerating. She was fully quoting it the whole time, up to and including.
I'm looking at the captions.
Up to and including phonetically perfect with the ancient, quote, air quotes, ancient Egyptian, which they may have done their homework. That might have been what ancient Egyptian sounded like. I don't know. I wasn't there.
I forgot to show you the thing I found of the Microsoft font. You can find the penises in the hieroglyph font. If you have Adobe Illustrator.
Yes, you mentioned
can,
that.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Okay, right? So there was this font. Is it one of the Segoe, whatever you call them, fonts from Windows 10? Like, you know how there's Segoe, the emoji UI or something? Well, there's a historical one. And, let's see, is it historic font, and apparently there was like a section with hieroglyphs, and there were a couple of them were, ding-dongs, and then apparently they took them out. But you can still... So you can't see them if you open up the character map. But if you go into Adobe Illustrator and use the glyph thingy, you can still find them. So that's there. You can go find your hieroglyph ding-dongs.
All right, I'm gonna have to. That's a rabbit hole I'm gonna end up in.
Well, I mean, so many things that they found with hieroglyphics lately. You know, with the founding in England.
Hieroglyphs and hieroglyphic is like the adjective.
Sure. You know, so many things they found with those, like where they found random rocks out of where water has been dried up, and certain like creepy things where it's like if you're seeing me, like people have wrote on rocks to warn people in the future. Like there's a rock, like if you're seeing me, weep.
Oh,
you know,
great.
it's like, oh, geez. And then also there's one saying that this guy has a small dick. Like, you know. And there's just like, all right, it's like...
Just
we're being trolled from the past.
There's just hieroglyphics, Imhotep is a chode.
Yeah. But I do love the fact that you have it almost in the same dig site as just one that's just like, I'm going to, you imagine like, okay, we're going to go ahead and warn humanity. This doesn't need to happen again. We need to make sure everybody's okay. He's a dick. Yeah, he's a dick and he has a small wiener.
So, I was just looking up real quick, Brendan Fraser's filmography, and I was thinking like he disappeared for a good long time.
He did.
He kind of not. He's been doing stuff pretty regularly, mostly like voice work and stuff. But he seems to be having like a resurgence lately.
Yeah.
He's in a movie called The Whale, which is supposed to be really good.
I've heard about it, yep.
And I just found out, and I'm very upset about this, he was also in the canceled Batgirl movie.
Yes, he was.
As Garfield Lynns, as Firefly, my favorite obscure-ass Batman villain.
Yeah.
That I'd never thought would actually show up in something, but I guess he's not now, because they canceled Batgirl. But we're going to have...
showed up in the background of, like, the Lego Batman or something.
Oh, he did. But I want an actual character to show. Like Firefly is so obscure, he didn't even show up in the goddamn Arkham games. And we got Victor Zsasz in the Arkham games. We got Calendar Man in the... Okay.
Right.
Calendar Man is, like, fucking scary.
In those games, yes. And anything else, he's just got a cape made out of dates.
Yeah.
Just for clarification, I looked it up, and apparently it's only censored in, like, Windows. But Apple's like them apples, I guess. You can still see them.
They like them apples, huh? Yeah, the Brendan Fraser actually did slow down a little bit. A lot of stunts he did in his movies. He hurt his back quite heavily. Had a painkiller problem, got treated for it, so he slowed down. But then he also came out that he... I'm just going to say this on a trigger warning, so please skip a little bit if you're feeling uncomfortable about it. He admitted that he was sexually assaulted by a studio head.
Which is not surprising. A lot of people were.
Yeah, and he came out and admitted it because it was a guy sexually assaulting a guy.
Yep.
Nobody believed him, and then for his hiring actually halted for a little while.
That's unfortunate.
Has he been around since then?
Oh, he has, but that's also the reason why you've had the resurgence is people are like, no, what the hell? No, he can't be doing that. He needs more movies.
Yep.
It's like,
and the internet's kind of like came around.
Lately?
Yeah. The internet has really just came around and really just brought him back up.
They rallied around him. The same thing with, I think it was Terry Crews had the same thing.
Yeah.
And Corey Feldman's been screaming about it for years.
Yeah.
It's like, some of the more recent stuff the last few years, he's been in a show called The Professionals. He's the voice of Robot Man from Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
Any of these?
Doom Patrol is it's a TV series based on DC Comics. He's Robot Man or Cliff Steele. He's in The Whale, which apparently, as I've heard, is supposed to be really good. And it's like,
I've heard
fingers
good
crossed. Come back, man. We miss you.
We love you. I love you.
Yeah.
I've always loved you.
But yeah, I'm like looking at his filmography here, and like he's it's a lot of voice work and stuff. But he's been kind of
people people don't realize that voice work is so good.
Yeah.
The voice work is amazing.
Yeah.
He was in G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. But
Yeah.
he was uncredited.
Oh.
Yeah, he was in a couple episodes of Scrubs. Is actually one of his, and one of his episodes is one of the best episodes of the series, hands down. Where he played the character Ben Sullivan, and I'm not going to spoil the ending of it, but
Yes, I know which one you're talking
Yeah.
about. I know exactly what
Yeah.
episode you're talking about. That is an amazing
yeah,
episode.
yeah. And if you haven't seen it, just look up Brendan Fraser's Scrubs episodes.
Gonna cry.
The last one, it hits.
Yeah,
Ooh, it hits hard.
it is. It's
But
an amazing
it's
episode.
one of the best directed episodes I've ever seen. Yeah, me too.
Yep.
Yeah, me
You
too.
can see the goosebumps
Yeah.
on my arms right now.
Yeah, one of the best directed episodes and some of the best acting I
Yes.
have ever seen.
It is so good. And I haven't even watched all of Scrubs. I've
Yeah.
only seen like bits and pieces,
Yeah.
but that episode is so good.
That is one you don't have to know anything
No,
about.
you don't. It is an amazing episode.
Well,
Yeah.
Scrubs is episodic, so you
Yeah.
can just jump
Yeah.
in whenever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that one, I mean, there's some things like some jokes carry over, so you kind of see some of it, but you can jump into that one and not know anything, and really it covers everything really well. All right, so jumping into the Mummy, oh man. All right, so we start off at the beginning where it's pre-credits. But basically, I think they involved, the scriptwriter said, you know what, let's just go ahead and just give the audience enough backstory so they don't have to worry about it later. Thank you, scripts.
It's so basic too.
Yeah.
It's just a basic backstory of here's this pharaoh.
Yeah.
And he has this girl, and nobody's supposed to touch her because she's his
Yeah.
mistress.
Yeah,
And guess what? She's cheating on him
yeah,
with
Priest.
this
guy.
priest,
High priest
Yeah.
Imhotep.
Imhotep, and her name is Anaxunamun.
And I
Yeah.
guess he's gonna resurrect her or
Yeah.
something.
He has the ability to resurrect her because this is
Because,
ancient Egypt. That's
Yeah.
magic. Magic ninjas. What?
yeah. Yeah, 1290
I like
BC,
that.
too.
The opening CGI, just straight up, I'm just like, are we watching a really good scene of the Prince of Egypt?
So you're thinking that, and
Yeah.
I'm like Transformers Beast Wars because
Yeah.
that's what it looked like to me.
It looked sort of like one of those
Oh, God.
well done 2D, 3D hybrids, but I think they were going for if they were going for realistic, no.
They were.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 1999.
But if they were going for
Yeah.
animation, it would have been amazing.
Right.
It
Yeah.
certainly looked like a cool kind of intro scene to a video game.
Yeah.
What's
It's
funny
like,
is
this
Big
is the
space did not work.
now here's what's funny. Dan and I just got a brand new TV, so I think if we had watched this on our old TV, it would have been fine. But because we just got a brand new 4K TV,
yeah, they were
no.
not. Okay, so video cameras have always been high def. It's just the way they are, but they were never quite. They weren't quite 4K level.
No.
So watching something from 1999, even with buffering coming in now and then, it's just like, ooh, that does not quite hold up. I can see the pixels, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
My brain didn't really react against
Yeah.
the actual mummy effects. You would think that would be dodgy,
Yeah.
but
The mummy effects worked. It's like
Yeah.
they were, very obviously CGI,
yeah,
but
it wasn't as bad.
no,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and they worked, like because
Yeah.
they had that creep factor to it, and most of the scenes he was in were dark.
Yeah.
So there was
Especially,
enough darkness to that your
shadow.
imagine
Yeah.
and your
Yeah.
shadow that
Yeah.
your imagination could fill in.
Yeah, especially in the
gaps.
beginning, like,
Right.
where you could tell they were pouring the scorpions on
oh, scarabs.
Scarabs.
Oh, is it scarabs?
Yeah,
Scarabs,
those are
yeah.
flesh eating beetles.
Yeah, it's pouring the scarabs on him. Obviously, it's not quite there.
Right.
Nah.
But still worked in a way. But I can understand what you mean with the 4K TV.
Yeah.
And sometimes
Yeah.
things are just a little too clear.
Yeah. And there'll be a point, if you watch a lot of it and then go back to work on Monday, be aware that life is going to seem a little unrealistic.
It's like the
Yeah.
entire world's at
Yeah.
a weird FPS right
Yeah,
now. What is
'cause-
this?
It's only when you first get
Yeah,
bored.
yeah, or it's at first. Yeah, that's why I said at first.
Ah,
yeah. But, I had it the first time we got a 4K TV, and I was watching it all weekend and really enjoying it, and then at work, I'm typing on the computer, I'm like, okay, everything's fine. I look down on my hands, I'm like, oh my god!
This is some terrible resolution.
Yeah,
why is my brain not doing
Why
that?
is life of a bad resolution today? Like, are my eyes failing me? What the frick?
But film is supposed to be what, like 24 FPS
Yeah.
anyway?
Yes,
So
the film quality is 24 FPS.
Yeah,
And then gamers can't deal with 30 because that's way too slow. So like we live life at 60 FPS.
then you get the ones that supposedly complain if it isn't like 120.
Okay, 120
What?
frames per second. I mean, if someone
even know
wants to
what that
come
looks
at me
like.
for this, then come at me. 120 frames per second. Your brain can't process it that fast.
No.
I mean, it looks pretty, sure, but you're not saving any real time at 120 FPS.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really
Yeah,
has
30
that
to
any.
60
Yeah,
is fine.
yeah, yeah. I don't think anybody can really process that at all.
Of course,
No.
listen to it 20 years from now, and maybe we'll be like laughing, just
Yeah.
like when we were like, "Who needs phones in their cameras in their phone? What is that?"
So, yeah, listen to these weirdos. They don't even have their direct brain hookup for their PS9.
PC.
Yeah,
See, for the
or-
record, I'd go for a direct brain hookup, like
Yeah.
Whenever
Oh,
you see
God,
the stuff
immediately.
about how the singularity is coming and it's terrifying, I'm like, no, hook me up, baby.
no, I'm
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
It's like plug me right into
Yeah,
that damn
hell.
matrix. I'm in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, hell, with me, plug me in physically, I'll probably just end up normal.
Right?
I could probably fix everything else.
Isn't that how the Matrix happens?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, once we
Bring it on, hell.
Once we invent the holodeck, it'll be humanity's last invention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Has anybody seen Dan? Yeah, he's been in the holodeck since March.
yeah.
He barricaded the door. He won't come out.
I hope it's not a joy can.
So
Followed by an
Exunaman
orphan
kills herself here in the beginning, and then Imhotep trying to go ahead and resurrect her, but he's killed as well.
He gets busted
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
By the
Pharaoh's guards, and he gets
Yeah, really bad fucking guards, by the way.
The Magi.
Yeah, really, really bad guards. It's like, okay, the Pharaoh goes in alone,
Yup.
does his thing, gets stabbed, and then everybody else standing around, oh, he just killed the Pharaoh.
Damn. Pharaoh got
Oh,
murdered.
that just happened.
Ah.
And it's like,
Yeah, and
all
then the guards come in, like, something happened in there.
Yeah, all the gold guys just like,
Ooh,
shit,
snap.
we're in trouble. And
And you know what? I'm pretty sure that all the guys that are in gold, like all the other priests, I'm pretty sure they're eunuchs too.
yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, why isn't Imhotep?
Well, isn't he one of the head priests? Or
He is
something?
the head
in charge.
priest. He's the
Yeah.
one in charge.
Yeah,
Why isn't he a eunuch?
Remember, everybody's equal except for the ones in charge.
yeah,
True, true.
yeah.
But
It's how
they-
cults work. Like, there's a whole lot of things about how cults are like, sex is of the devil, but
Yeah.
the leader can have it. That's fine.
Yeah.
The leader can have all he
Well,
wants.
yeah, because he's the one who's supposed to be.
He's the voice of God.
I
Yeah.
thought eunuchs were more like a thing in Asia. Or did ancient Egypt have it too?
Oh, they're all over.
Oh, they're everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, so that happens. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
he goes to the hell's the place called?
He goes
He
to
goes to
yeah.
Hamunaptra,
Yeah.
which is the
Thank you. I can never pronounce that. The City of the Dead.
City of the Dead,
Yeah.
to perform this ritual to resurrect Anck-su-namun. And before he can finish the ritual, he gets caught, and the bodyguards, the Magi, they perform a curse on him called the Hamdai, which is the worst of all ancient Egyptian curses.
It's
Which
the
is-
curse
which
to
is
give
like-
you fucking immortality.
What the fuck is this curse? Because what are you doing? Why are you giving
Giving
him
him Bible powers.
Right?
It's like, he's like, he will be...
Cass was asking that the whole time.
It's like, he will be invincible. It's
He
like,
will-
and this is a
okay.
curse?
Now,
Yeah.
okay, I get the whole.
Right?
This is terrible because you're essentially like torturing him for all eternity. But
True,
You
because
should also make sure there's no way for him to get out. Like,
Right.
you know what? Like, destroy that key.
right, yeah, exactly.
Why did
But
the key
because
survive to
because like it's
modern age
a
time?
all it's an the only key available, apparently, because it unlocks all the books.
Right.
It unlocks the book, the book of the dead. It unlocks the
Book of Ra.
book of book of
Amun-Ra.
Amun-Ra. It basically is the only key they own. There are no other keys available.
So it's a universal master key.
Yes, it's the master key.
Yeah.
They should have done a different key
Yeah.
and then destroyed the key. But if they did that, we would not have a movie.
Right.
I mean, okay, yeah, you're right. The immortality makes sense because the whole thing is you're going to be stuck in the sarcophagus forever being eaten by beetles. And, well, technically the beetles died, but...
Your soul
it
is
took a
going to
long
be
time.
tortured for eternity.
But why give him the power to call upon all those plagues on Egypt?
I think the point of this curse is because it's so bad. This curse is because you don't want to do it because it's got the bounce back effect. I think that's the point of this curse. Is it's terrible that you're doing it to this person, but you don't want to do it because it's going to bring about bad things to you.
Then don't do it.
Yes,
I think that's the point. You don't want to do
Yeah,
it.
then
but a curse is
Yeah.
supposed to give its user, the person placing the curse, power to, fuck up somebody.
Well, that's the point of curses, though. Is I think it's based upon. I mean, if you look upon even Wiccan culture and anything, you don't do curses because there's always a bounce back effect.
Right.
Whatever you do comes back at you times 3.
No, that is
So-
right. Yeah.
Karma's a bitch.
Karma's a bitch.
Yeah.
So you don't do curses for this reason.
Right.
But
So
this
then they're
guy,
pointless.
So they're doing... Okay.
but this guy fucked up so bad.
Yeah.
That they're like, well, we're
Worth
doing
it.
this because it's, we're gonna protect this guy so that his curse remains, and we're gonna protect us that, nobody's going to find him.
It's like, yeah, but they were so shitty about it.
Because,
Honestly, they took fucking forever to actually show up.
here's what they
at
should have
the
done.
second-
The problem is, they shouldn't have left him in Hamunaptra. Because Hamunaptra, not only is it the land of the dead, it's also the land of riches. Now, if we're going to go into a little bit of mythology here, we can add on, not just Egyptian mythology here, but we can add on a little bit of Greek mythology too.
The 80s.
Because Hades is not only the god of the dead, he's also the god of wealth. And
His
That's true,
Roman
yeah.
name is Pluto.
Yeah.
And that's what, and we call, when the rich are in charge, it's a plutocracy.
Yeah.
And so there's a little bit of level here because death and riches kind of go hand in hand, and that's what happens here because Hamunaptra is where the most wealth of Egypt is supposed to be, and that's why everybody is going there. Is because that's where all this wealth is supposed to be. That's why everybody's going here. They're not actually going to find dead bodies or anything. Everybody's going here because the legend has it that this is where all this wealth is supposed to be
Well,
hidden.
Evie's there for the...
But this is before Evie. This is the beginning of the movie. This is where Rick is. Rick O'Connell and fucking Benny. This is where they are at the very beginning. Everybody's at Hamunaptra right now because they're looking for all this fucking gold.
Yeah, I was confused at the beginning. I'm like, wait, why is he in an army?
Well, he's in the French Foreign Legion.
He's in the French Foreign
Yeah,
Legion
so,
right now
yeah.
because they believed in Hamunaptra
Yeah.
and the legend of all this gold and wealth and everything so much that they trekked across Egypt to get
An
there
entire garrison went out there.
to go
And
find this place, and they found it, but they didn't realize that there were going to be people there that are defending this place because nobody wants them there because there's something way more powerful than they were expecting.
So I guess you could say that the horrible curse thing, I mean the whole the biblical plagues powers, that seems like you could call it a deterrent for any allies that might want to resurrect Imhotep.
Yeah.
Or it should be, at any rate.
Yeah.
But remember, greed kind of trumps everything.
Yeah. Yeah, and There's an actor in this movie that, when you're introduced to Evie and John, especially where she's like dancing around very unfortunately on the top of a ladder.
Oh!
And, it's...
Ladders.
And then knocking down the bookcases, and her boss comes in.
Evie is me.
Yeah, and this guy, who's her boss, who's yelling at her to try to pick up the mess that she's made, understandably.
How is she going to pull up all them bookcases herself?
Right, but this guy has been in multiple shows.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, he's in
multiple
everything.
places, and almost everywhere from 1992 till whenever the hell I last saw him. If there's a library on screen, most likely he's there.
Yeah.
Like, he's typecast as a bizarro librarian. And he was, I was thinking about this today, and I'm like, where have I seen this guy? And I do not know this dude's name.
Eric Avari.
Okay. No, I do.
Dan Reed's IMDb.
Yeah.
Let's see. He was in Mr. Deeds, Planet of the Apes, The Mummy, obviously.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is just some random stuff. Oh, he did a voice in Destiny 2. Neat. Let's go regular filmography and see what we can find on here. Because actor, 153 credits.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
Daredevil, Dancing in Twilight, L.A. Riot, Spectacular, played a Major D. Okay, that's different. But everywhere is just...
Daredevil the movie?
Yeah.
So, I'm... Okay.
Yeah. And a couple, I guess, he was on a...
It's funny, we mentioned Karma, and he actually played Karma in a movie called Karma's a Bitch.
Oh, no kidding. But he was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He played a character called Cedric on an episode Ill Will where he played one of the teachers at school.
He was also in Paul Blart.
Where was he?
Mall Cop.
In the fucking library.
Yep.
And
That is a weird thing to be typecast as.
Yeah. You could do library really well, because libraries aren't going anywhere, right? Or
Shit, he was in the Postal movie.
Yeah. Or as, his Family Guy says, Dad, what's a library? That's a place where homeless people go to shave at BM.
He was in Heroes. He was one of the scientists in Heroes.
Ah.
Okay.
And Star Trek Enterprise and many others, but it seemed like he's been... Maybe not entirely in a library, but it seems like he's been in a library everywhere. Every single damn place.
He's Elektra's dad in Daredevil. Okay.
Yeah. And he's just like, hey, and it's jumping ahead a little bit, but...
typecast as a librarian.
Yeah. I don't know. But it's
like that guy, I suppose.
Yeah. But it's like, when you first see him, and it's not to jump far ahead on this, but couldn't you see that he was evil? Like, right from moment one.
He's not evil,
Yeah.
but he's definitely shady.
Yeah.
The librarian in this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was with the
He's
guys
with the Magi.
Yeah, and they're there to protect the world
Right.
from this evil. That's,
He's shady though.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily on their side, at least not at the moment.
Yeah, that's different from
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
evil. But
Yeah. But it's shady, so okay, we'll use a different word then.
He's Slim Shady.
Yeah.
He's evil.
Yeah, he never stands up. Guys didn't get that.
Didn't dignify it.
Fair enough,
Very
that's fine.
sleepy.
That's fine.
Not
So,
funny. Didn't laugh.
so John and his sister Evie, Evie is a librarian, aspiring Egyptologist. They find an intricate box that leads a...
I thought the introduction to them was pretty funny.
It's funny, yeah.
This movie is the reason why I call my brother by his full name.
Yeah.
It's the truth. I call
Because
my
Evie keeps doing Jonathan.
I call my brother Christopher when I refer to him.
Yeah.
When I'm talking to him, his name is Chris.
Yeah.
But when I refer to my brother, he's always Christopher. And Dan pointed this out to me because it's like, yes, I refer to my brother as Christopher 99% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because of this movie. To be quite honest.
But not only is Evie's intro kind of funny, like, you don't expect her to be stuck on a ladder as if it were two stilts nailed together.
When Joss was saying, "This is me," I'm like, "You would have toppled way faster."
Yeah.
Joss has she has an adversarial relationship with gravity.
I do.
At best.
But the introduction to Jonathan is when she's looking around in this room of artifacts, and all of a sudden, jump scare! A horrible, disgusting corpse pops out.
Yeah, when he's
and
playing with the dead.
He's playing with a fucking
Corpse. He's playing with a corpse.
He's hilarious, and he looks like Ken Berry.
Yes, he does. I love Jonathan as a character. I love his character.
Yeah.
He is, out of this entire movie, he is my favorite character.
He also looks like...
It's like him, I get. You, I don't.
Remember, he looks like a cross between Jim Parsons and Al from Quantum Leap. A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And throw in some Ken Berry and mix it all together. And
Yeah.
don't put people in a blender.
It's kind of funny, though, is that it's the movie he's most well known for. And the fact, like, when you look him up on Google, the first question that comes up is he still acting? Next thing, is he still alive?
Oh my god.
Wait, who specifically?
The actor. You were just
Actor who
talking
played
about.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what? That's actually a pretty good question.
Yeah, I was like, is he still alive? He is.
I'm sure he
Is
is.
he still acting? Yes.
I'm sure he is.
John Hannah.
Yeah.
His name is John.
Yeah.
God.
He has some pretty aggressive eyebrows.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I really like him.
He was in 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Yeah.
Was he really?
The Hurricane, whatever that is.
That's the with Denzel Washington.
Okay. He's in a show, something called Trust Me.
That I don't know.
And Evelyn and John find Rick, and they make a deal. They'll go ahead and get them to the city of Hamanapatura.
Hamanaptra.
I will
the city
never.
of
I will not be.
Hamanaptra.
I will not be able to pronounce it. So I'm
It was in the city of Manamana.
I'm giving up now.
I'm going,
And your second intro
I'm
to...
going to be saying a lot of apparently ancient Egyptian today.
Homer's character name, but he got hung but didn't die.
Yeah.
Rick O'Connell.
I'm sorry.
Although,
When you combine the deserty setting and you say Rick, I start thinking Casablanca. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's true. You're right.
Yeah,
You're not
yeah.
wrong.
And there's fezzes, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
There are fezzes.
Yeah.
And the bar that he's in later kind of has a Casablanca-ish kind of feel
Yeah,
to it.
I didn't even think
With
about
the fountains
that.
and whatnot.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I agree. Yeah, but
that's a pretty spectacular way to bring it back in.
Yeah, but the prison guard here, the warden, is probably one of the funniest damn guys in this movie.
He really is.
Yeah.
Apparently, he had a very good time.
Yeah, he had a good time.
I would pay $100 to see him hang.
Yeah,
But what about 500?
500. Wait, what? Well, hold on.
It was Hamanaptra that got his attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so 500. And what else? I'm a very lonely man. Whack. And then all the prisoners laugh at him. I love that scene. I love that scene because all the prisoners laugh at him. And it's like, you never see stuff like that. You never ever see stuff like that.
So that's how the warden joins the posse.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go with you.
Adventure
Fine.
party.
Yeah. Rick and Evie get in her party, get to the city, encountering the band of American treasure hunters. I really wanted the Americans in this movie to not be Americans, but do bad American accents.
That would be great.
It really just... We are American. Hello, fellow traveler.
Hello, fellow
Yeehaw,
American.
pilgrim.
Yeah.
We've traveled
Okay.
many hectares.
Yeah.
There's one character.
Happy go flocking day.
There's one guy in the American party.
Posse
Posse?
party?
Yeah.
Posse party.
That was gonna come
Party
out as
posse.
posse and then party, and that's how it came out. There's
Well,
one
yeah,
guy.
These are full of shit.
I don't know his actual. I don't know the actor's name, but there is a TV show called Murdoch Mysteries.
Yes.
And it's a great show. It's a fantastic show.
Yeah.
But the main character in Murdoch Mysteries,
Murdoch?
Murdoch, yes, the guy who plays Murdoch, and the guy with the glasses look identical.
Once the guy's glasses come off, just like, is that Murdoch?
Is that the same
no,
guy?
This is 20 years ago.
This is 20 years ago. But they look. You put eyeliner on that bitch, and they look very, very similar. Because Dan was like, "Is that the same guy?" I'm like, "No, no."
I mean, it's Hollywood. Who knows? They might not age.
Yeah, he's not Canadian.
Okay, because I'm like, wait, Murdoch Mysteries takes place in Canada. Why are you saying he's not Canadian?
Well, we're saying the guy with the
I'm pretty sure
glasses.
the guy with the glasses is not Canadian.
Yeah.
Or if he is...
Hey, we're not talking about Doug Walker, right?
No.
No.
Okay.
No,
Murdoch
see,
Mysteries is a good show, though. You should
Yeah,
watch it.
it
It's
is,
a very
yeah.
good show.
Yeah.
Very good show.
No,
It's on a 13th season right now.
Shit!
Yeah. Yeah. I've watched a lot of Murdoch Mysteries.
I had something, then I lost it. Later on, we're going to... Jumping ahead a little bit, but later on when that character loses his glasses
Yeah.
and the camera
I feel
goes
so bad.
into how he can't see shit, that's my eyesight.
Without the glasses?
Without his glasses.
Without my glasses, literally anything beyond right here, which I'm holding maybe 5-6
What?
inches in front of my face, maybe up to a foot. Anything beyond that, absolute blur, no detail whatsoever.
Oh, there was one other one I could relate to that, because I take my glasses off, and here's the weird thing, it's one of the weird parts of my eyes, because in my left eye, I'm nearsighted, in my right eye, I'm farsighted.
So you just kind of do the people's eyebrow to change things around.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, basically, if you do that, I am fucked.
Astigmatism
Yeah.
or something?
Astigmatism is a
Astigmatism
weird,
when
it's
you
a
have your-
weird,
your-
weirdly shaped eye.
Yeah, your irises are ovals instead of circles. That's what I have.
Yeah. Damn.
You see,
Yep.
I'm just horribly nearsighted.
Yeah. Yeah, near and farsighted at both points. I'm just, without the glasses, I'm really just stupid.
You see, without my glasses, I kind of navigate by sound and hope for the best.
I feel
and walk
really
slow, I hope.
feel really, really bad at that scene because that's how you described it. So when his glasses fall off and you get his
Climbing up at
his
last.
fishbowl sort of
Yeah, right.
look, I looked. I was like, "Oh, Dan, I feel bad right now because
it's like-
this is like you right
See
now."
that the listeners can't see this, but look at how thick those
Holy
lenses are.
fuck.
Well,
Yeah.
at one edge, the
Yeah.
inner edge seems...
Well, but it's
Yeah.
it's the thickness of the
Holy
lens itself.
shit, that is a
indicates
lot.
That's
Yeah.
concave.
Yeah.
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 My eyesight is awful.
Wow. No, thank God we're cyborgs, huh?
Oh yeah,
Thank God the time we live in, damn.
I'm a double cyborg. I got my glucose meter. This is my second Borg implant.
Nice.
We forget to mention though that the leader of the American troop is Benny.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Benny.
The same Benny who would
Who's like coward Benny.
who hid in that thing and shut the door so Rick couldn't hide with him
Yeah.
and escape the soldiers that were gonna kill him.
Because Benny's a real piece of shit, and I don't feel bad at all about what happens to him.
No.
No, Benny's a coward and a traitor, and he's not even your asshole Frank. He's just an asshole.
He's that slimy son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah, really. Really.
So Benny and when Benny and O'Connell meet again, he's just like, "Oh, you asshole! It's you. I see."
I love it when he throws him off the boat.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's just...
Bye, Benny.
Bye, Benny.
But it's like where he throws him, it's basically just like, it's like a Sharknado style, just click and drag. That he just flies to the side off camera.
Great.
Click, click, click. Whoop.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day. That was just one of the greatest moments. Like you can literally see you could just about see the
You
mouse.
could see the mouse moving, yeah. You could.
It's so funny.
You really could, yeah. You really could in that one, yeah.
So funny.
And it wasn't even as bad as the other 5 movies in that series.
No.
There's that one where just set it up for time, like, oh yeah, what's next? Oh my god, it gets worse.
We've seen all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could come
Fuck,
up
we
with
saw
more
Existo. That ain't that. Yeah. So,
We survived Existo. We can get through anything.
Yeah,
We can power through anything.
Yeah, this.
now.
Yeah.
I would not
this
like
cast
to revisit.
is.
I would not revisit Eraserhead, and I
Yeah.
would not revisit Ocean's 11.
No.
Yeah, I don't
no,
know.
No.
No, but this cast is definitely bonded over that.
Yes.
You know?
We've trauma bonded.
Yeah, we have.
I like to imagine Ocean's 11 was subjected to that curse, and that's why it just seemed to go on forever.
Yeah.
Well, the spiders are in your mind, eating your brain out of boredom.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There's a couple of curses that have popped up on this show, like specifically Sinbad's genie's bet. He gets to be famous, but he's trapped in the 90s.
Do you know that show actually in that movie is over 25 years old now?
Shut up.
Oh god.
Shut up your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, that made me cry.
I'm not old.
That made me cry, yeah.
So
I say I'm not old up season, I'm definitely old.
Oh, I'm old. It's
Now I want to know, what is the world's oldest website?
Rotten.com.
It's probably porn. Yeah.
Because you said that, and then I started thinking Space Jam.
Yeah. Well, the
So it's a
world. Yeah.
website, or
I think Space Jam might be one. If I don't think it's the oldest, but it's like among the
Definitely
oldest.
there.
Like,
Yeah.
well, it's
considered a
the
fossil.
the original website has still been maintained until like to this day for the original movie.
Yeah.
They didn't update it for the new Space Jam or anything. It's the original Space Jam movie.
Wow.
And that site has been maintained. I don't know if it's the oldest, but it's got to be up there among
Yeah.
the oldest.
Wow.
But yeah, we're talking about the American explorers, and they're being led by an Egyptologist who is played by actor Jonathan Hyde, who, ironically enough, played Dr. Jekyll in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I recognize this guy.
I love how he said it, and I was like, "Son of a bitch, you're
I
right."
recognize him from 1994's Richie Rich.
Yep.
What?
He's Herbert Cadbury.
Yep.
The butler
He's
from
the
Richie
butler
Rich.
from Richie Rich, and I was like, "Son of a bitch, you're right."
And looking it up,
Goddamn
I've also
Macaulay Culkin.
realized he is also both the dad and Van Pelt from Jumanji.
Yes, he is. He's from Jumanji. Yes, he is. You're right.
He's the
You're
dad
right.
and the hunter
Son
from
of a
No
bitch.
way.
Son of a bitch, you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
He was also
Yeah.
he was also in Titanic and Anaconda.
The one person who was in
What
Titanic.
was he in Titanic?
He was Warren Westridge.
Yeah.
I
Well,
found
yeah.
the first website.
Wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Bruce Ismay in Titanic.
Yeah.
Apparently it's CERN.
He's Warren in Anaconda.
I never saw Anaconda.
I was reading the wrong thing, but ironically, his last name is Hyde, and he plays Dr. Jekyll. And, there's no year attached to it, so it might be one that's coming out soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you say that, and the only thing I have in my head is my Anaconda. What?
None unless you got buns, hon.
Sorry, that's it.
No, it's in my head. Yeah. That's in my head, dang.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
My favorite Sir Mix-a-Lot song is Monster Mac.
Yeah. You know, he did an album with the Presidents of the United States band.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he rap about peaches?
I really hope he did.
Or a lump?
I really hope he did. Yeah, well, it's just, you can get so much out of one chord guitars. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What about Particle Man?
Yeah.
That's They Might Be Giants.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're right. That's right.
Yeah. So, despite the warnings not to leave the Earth at bay, the leader of the Magi, the two expeditions continue their excavations. Evie searches for the Book of Amun-Ra,
Oh, you're
made of pure gold.
You're skipping.
I know I'm skipping, but still, it's a
They
summary.
set fire to
So,
the boat.
You're skipping to when they set fire to the boat,
Yeah.
and you know, they almost
I
get
have all the
shot.
horses.
And you're skipping my favorite lines.
Yeah.
The Hey O'Connell, looks like we have all the horses. Hey Benny, looks like you're on the wrong side of the river.
Oh, and then he looks around and he's like,
And then they have to go buy camels, and he's all upset about buying camels. They're like, you know, you couldn't come for free if you sold your sister. And then you see a decent shot of Rachel Weisz's tits.
Yep.
Which, if you
What?
are anything like me when you're, a horn dog teenager, you can definitely see nipple, but that's just me. Yep.
Oh, damn, that did happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have.
I have seen this movie quite a bit.
I thought
We have
she
the-
got a new dress.
She did.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
it's-
black,
and
and
it's
she's
pretty
not wearing a
sheer.
bra,
Yeah.
and it's sheer, and you can see her.
And we-
What
tits
is
through it.
with people wearing black in the desert in the movie?
Because Arab country? I don't know.
I don't know.
No, it's-
Black absorbs heat.
I know
Yes.
it's bad.
Like
know.
the loose fitting linen would help.
It should have been
but the-
white. It should have
but
been
the dark
it should have
colors
been
would
white
not do
or
you any
tan
favors.
linen. You're right.
Although
it should have
if-
been white or tan linen.
If everyone dressed in white, you'd probably have a hard time telling the factions apart when the the dudes in the-
Magi.
yeah,
They're
them
in
they
the
show
fights.
up. They're wearing black, and I'm like, oh my god, it must be so sweaty. I mean, you look cool. I like awesome, but oof.
Also, this entire time, Evie's been like reminiscing about the kiss between her and Rick because Rick kissed her
When he was gonna be
gonna die,
Yeah.
He's like, it seemed like a good idea.
It seemed like the thing. It seemed like the thing to do.
and she's all upset about that, which is like, well, yeah.
Hey,
They
Kinda
making
did.
googly eyes
Yeah.
at each other.
Yeah, they've been
Yeah.
making googly eyes at
Like
each
she
other
comes
this whole
up
time.
out in her new cool, awesome outfit thing, and he's all like, "Oh, you're pretty."
She's also got like black eyeliner on, and she's obviously been made up a little bit, which yeah.
See, the veil doesn't last very long. That comes off pretty quickly.
Well, he had his makeover too, because
Yeah.
remember when he
had
first
long
shows
hair.
up with the all nicely.
He looks
trimmed
like
and
George of the Jungle when we first see him.
Yeah,
and
he
he shows
does.
up all clean, and she's like, "Ooh." She's pulling like
Thinking
from.
with your corner, man.
Lord.
He doesn't care how uncouth he was when they first met. He's just hot now.
The only thing I can think of, and maybe it's just me, but I was wondering, because he gets really close to her in that scene, I'm wondering, it's like, how long has it been since you brushed your teeth?
Oh god.
It was the 1920s in the middle of the goddamn desert. Everybody stank.
yeah. I mean, you have to.
There's got to be just like this haze of visible funk.
You know what's really funny too is the other scene is when she's negotiating with the warden over how much they're going to give him,
Yeah.
like his percentage. And at first he's like 50%. She's like 10%, 50%, 20. And he's like 40. And she's like 30. And he's like 25. And she's like, deal.
Yep. Because
It's like
the warden's not super bright.
Well, it was just like I cage people. Yeah,
So they make it to Hymenoptera. They make it
Well,
to Hymenoptera.
I like the scene for Hymenoptera though, because I like the whole wait for it.
Yeah.
That's straight up magic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're about to see where it is, and then when the sun rises and you see it just sort of come into place, and it's like, okay, it's a beautiful kind of natural optical illusion.
Yep.
The mirage.
Yeah.
That and the bet. They have a $500 bet as to who gets there first.
Yeah.
And Evie wins because she's the only one who can, I guess, tame her camel well enough to drive it. And
Who gets along with her camel?
Yeah.
Yep.
And she's like the Lisa Simpson of the group who's been studying this forever.
Yep.
So she's automatically knows everything about it, and then you have versus the basically soldiers.
Yeah.
For pay and volunteer.
Yep.
We're just going for the gold, and she's been studying this all her life, so she's just ready to roll.
Right. She walks in like, this is what this is like, and this is over here, and this is over here, and this is over here.
When the city first appears, like, was I the only one who was kind of half expecting the Power Rangers Command Center to pop up?
Maybe a little.
I mean, it had that whole feel to it, just like Zordon.
Yeah.
Aye.
You expect all of them to turn colors and just float towards it.
I love the whole like misogyny at the very beginning, though. It's like they're led by a woman.
They're
What
led
does
by
a
a
woman
woman.
know?
What does
And
a
he's
woman
like,
know?
look, this is the statue of Anubis. And like his legs go all the way down here, and she's like da 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 da, and she's telling them all like this is this and this is that and this is this and this is that, and he's like, yeah, what does a woman know? A lot.
Yeah.
And they end up getting
Seemed
it.
on the nose though. Like, oh yeah, let's our prerequisite gotta shoehorn in some it's old-timey times, gotta shoehorn in some sexism.
Yep.
Well, let's be fair, that hasn't really changed much in the intervening years.
Yeah.
But
Nearly 100 years later.
we're bleh. Anyway.
No, it's just that if you say that now, it's like you're gonna get yelled at.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean
Sure.
it's changed the mindset. It just means that you're gonna get yelled at for it now.
So anyway, they managed to get like to the base of the statue. Like they have their own like side dig that they get through. And
I like that Rick stole
yeah,
excavating. Yeah,
I
Where do you want it?
I borrowed this for you. He's like, hey, is that my tool? Gun to the face. Oh, right, fine.
No, I was mistaken.
It's okay, have it.
I liked it. I think the most creative part of it was the introduction of the mirrors that lit up everything.
Made me think of video games.
Okay,
Yeah.
that just made me think, Aziz, light!
Aziz, light!
Yeah.
You don't get it, do
No,
you?
that's from now.
Fifth Element.
Fifth Element.
Oh,
At
God.
the very
At the
beginning
very
of Fifth
beginning of
Element.
Fifth Element. Aziz, light!
Oh, it's been so long since I've seen that.
It's very much he's
Yeah.
holding up the mirror to
Yeah.
Keeps falling asleep.
It's a legit trick.
Yeah.
I have seen Fifth Element so many
Way
times,
too
and I
many
still
times.
couldn't tell you what happens in it.
Yeah,
Love that movie. No clue what the plot is.
I'm
No.
pretty sure that they use that in Indiana Jones too, so I'm pretty sure that this is a legit thing. Raiders of the Lost
happens in
Ark.
Raiders too.
Yep. So I'm pretty sure it's a legit thing in Egypt where they used mirrors and sunlight to light up
Underground
caves and
passages.
underground
yeah,
passages. So,
undoubtedly. Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, they're in like a preparation room at that point
Yeah.
or something. Yeah, where they show
remember.
where mummies are going to be prepped or
I
something.
can't remember the actual name of what it is, but yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was a thing at this time where, I don't know if it was just right around the setting of the 20s, where the very rich people in Europe would do this thing called mummy unwrapping.
Yep, and people would eat mummies too.
Yeah,
Make
Yes.
paint pigment out of them.
Yeah.
It was a huge thing. Like
I know,
they
Yeah.
incorporate bits of mummy into foods and eat it because they
Ew.
could give them like
Powers?
vitality or some shit.
People are crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you wonder why there was a lot of illness at that time, too.
It's like, let's eat this
Yeah.
1,000 years dead guy.
Yeah.
I'm sure
this
nothing
is-
bad will come of it.
Yeah.
This is great fun.
Yeah.
Well, I knew that there
Brown.
was like a huge like popularity boom when it came to excavation and everything during this time period. I knew that much. I didn't realize people were eating them.
Yeah. It's the idea of like very rich people would hire a doctor, they'd have a party, they all eat dinner, and then watch somebody unwrap a mummy.
It's like, look how gross this is.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look, you can see his ribs.
Yeah,
Didn't they used to burn them to fuel trains or something?
that was a thing,
That
yeah.
was a thing that was used, yes.
Yeah.
Also, the whole mummy brown or Egyptian brown is the pigment color name.
Yeah, just...
Why?
You think people are fucked up now?
It's like, yeah,
no,
no. There's a long
People have always
history
been
of
fucked up.
Yeah.
there's a long history of fuckery in the world.
This nothing.
Just-
I'm not. I
yeah.
shouldn't even be surprised. I don't know why I'm
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah, it's fueled with a lot of racism in general,
Yeah.
but it's just still, like, are you kidding me? Like, really that happened?
I don't know why
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I don't.
Yeah, so the Americans, meanwhile, discover the Book of the Dead and accompanied by canopy jars that carrying Tutankhamun's preserved organs.
Yep.
And like you look at it, like it's just a stereotypical American thing of this looks cool.
Yep.
I want it.
This is mine. I'm
Yeah.
going to sell it.
I'm
I
gonna
have
sell
a
it because
thing.
it's got gold on it.
Yeah.
It's got gold and ivory, and I'm gonna sell it.
But there's like straight up, it says on the box, like, if you open this box, you be fucked. And they're
Yeah.
like, let's open a box.
Let's open the box. It's like, okay, the first thing I want to say about this particular part, it's like, all right, they go to open this particular section, and the first thing that happens is the whole, okay, guys, don't open it. Let's let these guys who we hired open this section.
And then
Yeah.
salt
And then
acid
salt
melts the
acid
guys.
basically melts them. So already you're showing maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Just saying.
Yeah.
Then once they open it, they find the Book of the Dead, and then you get to this part where it says, "Hey, don't open this. Anybody who opens this part,
Death will come on
death will
swift
come
wings.
on swift wings towards you." What do? We open it.
Let's open it, because why the fuck not?
Well, they probably don't have any reason to believe in You just think it's...
But still, they just watch people get melted, and they open up another box.
Well, true, but that wasn't a supernatural thing because Rick explains it was like a acid
It's a booby trap. But how do you know this little box isn't booby trapped?
True.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, why are you opening it? What are you doing? Why?
Because we're American. We don't need to listen to your... We don't need to listen to your sissy book learning.
You put it somewhere far away and then put the key on a stick and then do it from afar.
I'm just like, what the fuck you doing? What you doing? But why for you do this thing, stupid?
Now I'm reading about the mummy trade from like the 16th century, and they thought mummies had medicinal qualities.
That's why they ate them. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my
Okay, these are dead people.
Uh-huh.
That you shoved hot pokers up the nose and scrambled the brains a little bit and shoved them out. There's nothing medicinal about it. It was just a person that got mummified. There's nothing special about it.
Well, this article says this belief appears to have been loosely based on the ancient Greeks' medical use of pitch or bitumen, a substance with ooze from the earth in Persia, blah, blah, blah.
It was used mainly in ships as a sealant.
And I guess it was used as a treatment for medical complaints. But still, why do you need to get it from a mummy? Can't you just go back to where you found the stuff and just...
You'd think that, wouldn't you?
That's how the stuff started.
Oh.
Hey, there's some crap oozing out of the ground. Let's eat it.
Oh, that's a fucked up movie.
This is a wise move. Blah.
Yeah, it looks like fluff. Let's eat it.
Let's eat it.
Oh my god, it's floor pizza. Let's eat it.
Yeah.
Hey, look, this rock looks cool. Let's lick it.
Yeah.
Geologists?
Geology's not a real science.
My favorite scene in the movie.
We just lost our entire geologist contingent.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Yeah. We lost Hank.
Ah, damn it.
Yes. Sorry, Hank.
Come back. We love you.
Come back, Hank.
I was joking.
Yeah.
Accessories.
We lost you, Hank. Come on. What? Okay, now he's back.
Whoa.
Yes. So when Evie is reading the Book of the Dead, but she's drunk as hell, saying that women can keep up with everything.
You must not read from the book.
Don't read the scary Latin.
Do not read the Latin.
It's not Latin, but you know
It's
what I'm
not.
talking
It's
Yeah, I was just like, yes.
Yatue, Yatue, Yatue.
I'm putting my foot down. Stop reading the scary Latin.
If they want to do that trope, they should do it so the person compulsively mutters as, you know, what they're saying and they're not aware of it. Because everyone knows you don't read it out loud on purpose. So have it so it's like they don't even know they're kind of mumbling the words that they're reading with their eyes.
There's that kind of comes into play in the Magnus Archives, but I'm not going to get into it because we haven't finished it yet.
Yeah. I think, when you look at that, I think it's one of the funnier things. People talk about, in my mind when I'm watching this, is like people talk about when they got drunk and what they did the night before. What happened? Oh, I got drunk, read a book, and unleashed a plague in Egypt.
Whoops.
Oh my God, you must have had a good time. Well, it was up until that point. That thing's got a little bit hairy then.
It just reminds me of like someone's crazy D&D story. Like, I sang karaoke so bad I awakened the Tarrasque and almost ended the world.
I'm still...
Well, she didn't get drunk at that point. I think that happened the night before. Because the night before, they...
She just stole the book and read from it because that's what she does.
No. The night before, when she got drunk is when,
This is the scene where it's like, I don't get you.
the first day, the first day is when the whatchamacallit showed up. The Magi show up.
Right, and
the first night the Magi show up.
Get out of here, we'll give you one
Get
day.
out of here, we'll give you one day.
Yeah.
And of course we don't listen because of, why would we listen to the scary black robed people in the desert?
And that's when she gets drunk because the warden was also
eaten
down
by a
there,
scarab.
and he was eaten by a scarab.
And then, eaten by a scarab and then ran straight into the wall from picking up, it's blue gold.
Yeah, he's picking scarabs or what he thinks is gold pieces off the wall, And it turns out that they're actually just, like... Scarabags.
Yeah.
And,
The trypophobia should have warned you.
Right?
Yep.
And one of the scarabs digs into his shoe, digs into his skin, crawls under his skin, up into his brain, and kills him.
Scarab was smart, would have used him as a puppet.
We're talking scarabs, not cordyceps here.
Yeah, magic scarabs, though.
Cordyceps is terrifying.
Then-
It can turn spiders into zombies.
Oh, shit. Really?
Yeah,
It's a
real
fungus.
thing.
It's a fungus that'll take over a dead insect's body and like move it around
Yes,
for its own purposes.
It's real. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
It's what the zombies in The Last of Us are based on. That's why
Damn.
they're all fungal.
Does the bug have to be dead, or...
It can take over a live insect and just like control it.
Yeah, that's what I usually thought. That's how parasites did that shit.
This is a fungus, more so. It's not. It's more mushroom than parasite. Mushrooms, we don't really understand how mushrooms work. They just do.
Mushroom. Mm-hmm.
Mushrooms are weird, man.
Yeah, they are. But, yeah, so once they find out that the warden's dead, they go through his belongings and find, liquor. And that's when Evie gets drunk.
I find it funny.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, wait, the bottle is broken. That's what you cut yourself on. If you drink it, how do you know you're not drinking little glass slivers? Did the top break off? Watch yourself.
They didn't seem to care.
No, they didn't.
And how good is that liquor if you don't even notice?
Apparently it's pretty damn good, or at least very strong.
Yeah.
Because she gets pretty drunk. And...
I mean, there's not much to her.
No.
So.
But I love her whole thing. It's like, she starts talking about her family. She talks about Jonathan.
Oh, yeah. Her parents were great explorers.
Her father is an explorer.
I am a librarian.
And she's a librarian.
Well, I guess she makes peace with it, because it seems like she wants to discover cool shit.
Yep. And then, I am a librarian. And then she's like, and I'm going to kiss you, Mr. O'Connell.
Ooh.
And then she passes out. And then
That's the line I love.
Yes.
I'm a librarian.
And then, then she wakes up the next day and she's perfectly fine. It's like, I wish I could wake up the next day and be perfectly fine like that. I do not do that anymore.
Yeah, there was a time when that could happen.
Yeah, when I was in my 20s.
Yeah. There was a time that could happen where I'd get up and drive the next day wherever I needed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hasn't happened in a long time.
No. No.
No.
Even thinking about it, I'm probably not going to sleep tonight.
Oof.
At least.
Oof.
Or not much.
No. But then, then the next day, they find the Book of the Dead, and she steals it from the leader with the fez, who played, Richie Rich's dad, Richie Rich's uncle. And she reads from the book and wakes up the mummy. And starts the 10 plagues.
Oops.
Honest, yeah.
I am still confused. If the 10 plagues were used against the Egyptians, how did they get, how did they get those god powers from their enemy god? Because at one point, these, what's his face? Imhotep is all like, you speak the language of the slaves, come work for me. So why would they how does an Egyptian end up with, Hebrew god powers?
It doesn't necessarily mean that they came from Catholicism or Christianity. It just means that there are 10 plagues in Egypt.
But, I mean, that's how the 10 plagues, that was a punishment against the Egyptians.
Right, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be from Christianity. It could be that Christianity stole it from someone else.
Most likely they did. I mean, I'm just looking up something about it.
I thought it would be from...
Yeah, the 10 plagues are signs and marvels as gods. The Pharaoh taunt does not know Yahweh. which is, not obviously not a Christian thing. The Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord.
Yahweh is another name for Jesus.
Yep.
But
I thought it was God.
God is Jesus.
Well, disregarding the whole Trinity thingy.
Yeah.
But Yahweh is regardless.
And if anyone's interested in knowing like what the 10 plagues are,
Locusts?
I have them turning water into blood.
Yep.
As mentioned, frogs.
Yep.
Lice and gnats.
Yep.
Wild animals or flies.
Yep.
Pestilence of livestock.
Yep.
People getting boils.
Yep.
Okay, we saw that one.
Thunderstorm of hail and fire.
Yep.
Which that was seen. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was good.
Locusts, as you mentioned.
We didn't get the frogs though.
Yeah, the darkness for 3 days. And the death of firstborn sons.
I was going to say the death of the firstborn son because I started laughing and pointed at Dan. I was like, yep.
I was wondering if that would come into play because it'd been a long time since I'd seen the movie, and I'm just like, oh come on, you got to do something dramatic with that,
They didn't have time to do all of it. In 3 days they didn't have time for 3 days.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was just figuring, oh no, maybe Rick is the firstborn or something, and you got a clock to beat kind of thing going on.
The whole thing kind of takes place over the course of just like 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of wondered if they didn't plan, like, they kind of planned for a sequel, obviously, but you kind of wondered if they were going to have, like, Evie and Rick were going to have a kid.
They do.
And it started, they do?
Yeah, it's in the sequel.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Right, the Mummy Returns.
The Mummy Returns.
I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, they have a son.
And then
I
the
didn't know
third
nothing
one,
about
is
it,
that Scorpion King?
The third one is the Scorpion King, which is the prequel. Yep.
Ah, okay.
That's the one with Dwayne Johnson in, right?
Yeah.
Which makes an
Just like-
appearance in the second one.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, wasn't that the one that Brendan Fraser and The Rock, like, they actually never met because they didn't film together?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, they actually met during a press junket.
Yeah.
And finally, they're like, oh, okay, like, you're, I think Brendan Fraser, like, you're in the movie too, you're so cool. And Rock just hugs them. He's like, yeah, no, I know, it's kind of cool. Like, Rock asks for his autograph.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it was I remember watching that live for some reason. I don't know why that sticks in my brain. But, man, I had never seen that at all.
Yeah,
at all. I don't know why this passed me.
Yeah, there's the Mummy Returns. They have, it's like 10 years later, and they have a son.
Oh.
Yep. And the son is like a little fucking pain in the ass, honestly. Because he's essentially Rick with Evie's like not personality, but like her like sense of balance.
Wow.
Because he gets into trouble a lot because and Noxinamun is reincarnated.
Damn.
Yep.
Well, alright. So where are we here? The Rick, Evelyn, and Jonathan meet at the Erdath at a museum. Erdath hypothesizes that Imhotep wants to resurrect Noxinamun by sacrificing Evelyn. Which, this was actually a pretty interesting thing. I wish they followed this a little bit more. Just to see, okay, like, he looks at her, sees her, okay, fine. And even with the CGI where he's obviously not quite there, because there's some points where she's looking at him and she's scared, but she's clearly not looking at him.
Yeah.
It's clearly just a little bit off. I still believed it.
Yeah.
And Evelyn believes that if the Book of the Dead brought Imhotep back to life, then the Book of Amun-Ra can kill him again, and deduces that the book's whereabouts in Hamapalala.
In Hamana.
Yeah. So in Hamaniga no Tampa, they go ahead and figure out where they need to be. I told you I gave up on it.
I know. It's so funny to me. Okay, so the whole point of this particular part is that because they brought him back to life, any of the guys who are holding the canopic
Canopic jars.
Canopic jars, thank you. those guys that are holding them, they're holding his organs.
Yeah.
They're basically marked for death.
They're the ones marked for death, and the whole point of his
Such
curse
plentiful organs.
is they're the ones that he's going to suck dry to get, to basically become more and more juicy.
Yeah.
And the first one he goes after is, unfortunately, Murdoch Mystery. He steals his eyes and his tongue at first. It's the first thing he does.
Which, that was actually believable.
Yeah.
The way that they did.
He needs it to see.
Yeah. But the way they did it is just, you expect it is like... If this was the original 1935 movie, you expect like the eyes and the tongue were out, and then the camera was just on the back of somebody's head, and then somebody's saying, "Hey, your eyes and tongue are stuck out," and the actors go, "Ugh."
Yeah.
So it does. This one, like, I actually believed it.
It's like from back then. Remember, tell, don't show.
Yeah.
Does this movie have any relation to the original?
It does. There are some characters that are from the original.
Okay.
Carried over, and
had like the resurrected mummy is looking for the reincarnation of his girl.
You're exactly right. Yeah, so there is.
I vaguely recall.
Yeah.
I think Svengoolie did a.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
One of the mummy. I think that's where I started watching it. It was pretty boring. So
Yeah.
from what I saw, and I'm like, how is this boring?
Yeah. Well, it didn't really carry over. I think, the music and everything else, and also the actors deliver the story a lot better in the 1999 version.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember watching the Svengoolie one with you, and I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original with Svengoolie. But you have, Imhotep corners the group of army slaves. Evelyn agrees to accompany Imhotep because he has to take her over to hot place of wherever the hell. Yeah. And
He has to take her there.
to the Hope Palace to go ahead and do.
He has to take her there in order to perform the ritual.
Yeah.
And
He's like, no, I'm fine. He has to go over there to do it.
He basically promises to keep them alive until to take her, and then he reneges on that promise.
Yeah, they gotta fight their way to safety, which is actually a pretty interesting fight scene.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and I do love the ways in certain of these fights, though, but like where one scene where Evelyn just like seems to go through a wall, and to a degree, and then out of there, she's in one room, there in another room suddenly.
There's a couple of things that's interesting about like this particular part of the movie.
Yeah.
Like they bring up, for example, before this happens, when he's like sucking some of the guys dry.
Phrasing.
He goes to see Evelyn. He goes to like to try and I don't know if he's trying to take her at this point or whatever, but he gets scared away by her cat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And
because they're guardians of
because
the
they
underworld.
are the guardians of the underworld,
Yeah.
and this is very.
He's allergic to
These are
That's why he's gonna suck the guys dry.
until he gets his all his parts back.
Yeah.
This is a.
That is fine.
Well, this is accurate to Egyptian lore.
Yeah.
That cats are the guardians of the underworld.
True.
There's the goddess Bastet,
Yeah.
who is she's a cat god.
Yeah.
I mean,
And this is
she's. There's actually, I think there was a statue of her
In the beginning,
in the
yes.
very beginning of the movie.
Amanamanama, whatever her name is, was leaning on the statue.
Noxunamun.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Her.
yeah.
Yes, she's leaning on a cat statue.
Yeah.
I was just
Who
like,
touched you? Pussy joke.
Yeah.
Just me.
And
who touched you? It's 80,000 degrees outside. I'm melting. That's
It's
what
hot.
happens.
I sweat. I'm sorry.
Isn't that also like? Didn't you read something, Kaz, recently, or something like species usually have like a 3,000 year lifespan or something, or
Something like
or something like the average species only lasts like 4,000, 5,000 years.
I thought it was like a couple million.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I can't remember.
Or something where there's the cycles happen, but it's also one of the reasons why cats have lasted so long. The way they are is because of the way they have been held up in Egypt.
Huh.
They're held to such a high standard.
I don't remember.
Yeah. That's where I read a little bit further. At least for some of them, although it's probably a couple million. But anyway, so Imhotep, Evelyn, and Benji return to Hotel California to... do you mind if I just keep rolling with that joke?
I find it amusing, so it's fine. Yeah. Well,
I ran out of my jokes. Like Mana was my best one.
Well, their taxi cab is actually really funny because it's a tornado.
Right. Oh my God! Yeah.
The worst cab ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sand gets everywhere.
He basically their ride is amazing because he basically like this is the worst Sharknado ever.
Well, it finally was the scorpion.
It was a scorpion. Yep.
I'm like, scorpion haboob! Oh wait, it was scarabs. Okay, it's not as awesome sounding as the scorpion haboob.
Give it a couple movies. I'm sure there's another one, and there's the actual Scorpion King.
Can he summon scorpion haboobs?
Maybe.
I just want an excuse to say haboob.
There's a manga with a scorpion haboob. I should have showed you.
What? Seriously? Somebody made a scorpion haboob that's the cousin of the Sharknado. Not to be confused with, what was it, Bear Volcano?
Bearcano.
And the Lava Lancelot.
Oh, God, yeah.
That's the cousin to the Sharknado.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Bearcano is... That's a thing that happened. Yeah. Yeah.
I found, apparently...
Frognami.
The lifespan of the species, let's see, for an invertebrate is about 11 million years, and for a mammal about 1 million years.
Oh, we keep forgetting about Ardith.
Yeah.
Well, he's the leader of the...
He's the leader of the Magi, and he has joined. He's joined the party. I love that character too.
Okay.
His name.
His name is Ardith.
We only see his name show up in the freaking captions.
Yeah.
And his favorite line is something in I don't know exactly what language he's speaking.
Probably Arabic.
But it's like Avikdallah. I don't know what that means.
It's like the Russian bliet.
Yeah.
Because he's dealing with these people, so it's probably like, fuck.
But he I just love the look on his face when he's strapped to the wing of the biplane.
It's like,
yeah. And honestly, that does seem kind of cool.
Jonathan is strapped to the wing of one wing of the biplane,
and he's terrified.
Rick is like, "How you doing over there?" And he's like, "How the fuck do you think I'm doing?" And then you have Ardith, and he's like, "How you doing?" And he's just got this gleeful look on his face.
He's like Peter. He's like Peter Griffin, and that like, yeah.
The never-ending story.
Yeah, a little heavy there, buddy. Yeah.
Because I can't remember the pilot's name though.
Yeah.
Winston.
Yeah.
Because you've got Winston, who is part of
the last of the World War
One.
Yeah.
Pilots who was stationed there.
I think he's the British Royal Navy.
And you said
he
was in Heroes because I'm like, he's so familiar.
Yeah, he played so many great roles over his life, but he was in episodes of MASH where he played he played obviously British soldiers. I think played a British soldier and then played a Canadian general. And obviously another episode, but he was in a couple episodes of Hogan's Heroes. Where of course, it's one of the greatest things is screwing up things for Nazis. Always a wonderful thing to see, but
I want to see Hogan's Heroes, but with Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. But he played so many different things, mostly military, as far as I remember.
That's not surprising.
I don't remember
if
what
that mustache is real, then yeah, I can see him being typecast in military stuff.
Yeah,
Old timey, really.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
big time.
yeah. I cannot find, who he actually was. Was Winston was his name?
Winston, yeah.
Even though he's only in the movie for a short time, he's
very-
colorful.
He's got like
Yeah.
he's got
Yeah.
like 2.5 scenes.
It's very
Yeah.
memorable because
Yes.
the first thing
Yeah.
you see is he's drunk as hell,
Yeah.
and he walks into the fountain
And
and says,
walks
"Somebody
Somebody
spilled their drink."
their drink.
Yeah,
And then the next thing you see, and he's complaining that he didn't get to die in like a blaze of glory,
With the rest
like
of
Yeah, all his
the
other
rest-
friends,
the rest
yeah.
of his squad.
yeah,
And
Okay,
then,
Lieutenant Diane.
and then he gets the opportunity to basically take Rick and his crew
yeah.
out to try to save
odds-
the world, and he's like, "Yeah,
The
Yeah.
odds are very good
you're gonna die."
He's
And
like,
he's like, "Yes, let's do this."
Like, fuck yeah, I'm in.
And he
Save the
takes
world,
his
save
damn
the
biplane,
damsel.
this
At your service.
damn
That
yellow,
was great.
damn yellow 2-seater biplane that I'm like, yeah, it's a big fucking biplane too. Like, I'm looking at this thing like, this is a huge biplane. This is not a small one. It's got a goddamn fucking I'm trying to think of the the gun on the back.
It's a machine.
It's a machine gun on
I'm
the
sorry.
back of it.
I'm sorry, son. They got us.
Yeah. I mean, it's on a fucking biplane. On a yellow goddamn biplane. That's not a spy plane.
Okay.
It's yellow.
Yeah.
You can see that. Why is there a fucking machine gun on the back of this plane?
I don't know.
It's,
Yeah. And actually, I just looked up a few bits of it, but the guy we're talking about is Bernard Fox, and we reviewed him. One of the movies he was in that was done pretty well was Munster Go Home,
oh,
where
really?
he played a character called Squire Lester Moresby. And he was one of the guys trying to steal stuff from the castle, but Fred Gwynn kept fucking it up.
Really?
Yeah, so he's like, we're going to go ahead and get everything, and yes, I say it'll be great. He's one of the guys at the end. If I know there's one of the many movies we've done, but they had that big race at the end
Yeah.
where they tried to go ahead and use the Munstermobile.
Yeah, yeah.
But he tried to screw it up, and it only enhanced it.
Nice.
Yeah, and Bernard Fox has played in quite a bit of work, but he's almost always played that military guy.
That's funny.
And yeah, he was in Herbie the Love Bug too.
Aw.
But oh yeah, he played in Bewitched.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, as Dr. Bombay, the witch doctor. Oh man, I remember this now.
Oh,
So I was looking up the other guy, the guy that played Ardith.
Yeah.
he's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, specifically Resident Evil Apocalypse.
Huh.
Have I
He
seen
was
that?
Carlos
Yeah.
in Resident Evil
Yes!
Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yes, he was!
Yeah.
Yes, he was! That's right!
And in Extinction, so apparently he made it into both.
Yes, he has. I remember. Oh my god, yes, okay. That's where I saw him. I could not, for the life of me, remember where else I had seen him.
I figured out why I recognized him. He's Admiral Vance in Star Trek Discovery.
Okay. That's right. Okay, now it's
and my
coming
phone's
back to
about
me.
to die, so
It's
Damn,
coming back to
man.
me that I knew him from somewhere else, but it's Resident
he's
Evil.
Admiral Vance from Star
Okay.
Trek Discovery. That's why
All
I
right.
recognized him so badly.
So,
Yeah.
yes. But I like his character in
Yeah.
this, too.
Yeah, especially even when he dies and he's just
He's
very
just
content, just like
smiling.
looking, and then slowly as it goes through the quicksand.
I like the fact that they kind of give him almost like a proper burial.
Yeah.
It's Rick,
Self-burial.
Yeah.
Rick gives him like a salute.
Yeah.
Like it's really it's nice.
Yeah.
There's trumpets playing almost in the background.
Yeah.
Like it's
I was just thinking, man, that is convenient and polite, a self-burying body.
right.
Kind of like,
It's quicksand.
vampires turn to dust in Buffy or something. It's like, no mess.
No mess to clean up.
No,
Right.
no muss, no fuss.
Convenient.
Self-cleaning vampires.
Very courteous.
Yeah, so Imhotep prepares to sacrifice Evelyn, but she's rescued in the battle when Imhotep's mummified priest. But I want to play this. I know they did a mummy video game, but I really want to play this level.
This level seems like it'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Like, but there might be like an escort mission where you got to keep Jonathan safe. It's like, no, I don't want to do that. You got to keep him safe while he figures out the inscriptions.
This whole scene is kind of fun though, because there's so much happening in this scene. Because you've got to rescue Evie.
Yeah.
You've got to try to get the book.
Yeah.
You've got to try to find the book. You've got to get the key. You got to get the key away from Imhotep.
You have to periodically fight off Imhotep.
You've got to fight a Nux and a Moon, whose spirit has been transferred into her old body.
Now the new mummy, the
Tom Cruise one.
Tom Cruise one.
Oy.
I think Anak Son of Moon is the mummy in that
She
one.
is, but I don't know if it's her name.
It's a female mummy.
Yes.
That was a thing that happened.
Yes, it was. And it was...
Dark MCU.
It was supposed to be like the Dark Cinematic Universe, but it tanked so hard that the whole idea of that went, no, we're good.
Okay, the storyline behind it was supposed to be like the opening to a whole, like, cool universe where it was supposed to be like the Mummy and the Wolfman and the Swamp Thing and everything else. It was supposed to open up like this movie franchise of having like the old school.
And it was too confusing.
Yeah, but they tanked
it too hard. And it was, and Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, because that's what Russell Crowe's character was supposed to do.
Yeah.
I didn't see the actual movie.
Did they even make that one?
They made the Mummy, and
that's
as far as that went.
They brought up Russell Crowe's character as, like, I think Dr. Jekyll.
Sounds right to me.
I don't know. I didn't see the movie. I was told about it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see the movie because I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
Like, I've heard it is, at best, all right.
I heard it was, like, my coworker saw it and he really liked it, but I love you, Larry. I don't trust you.
I love you, Larry. Your taste is suspect.
Because you like everything.
Yeah. It was one of those, I think some people saw it and they said if Cruise wasn't in it, it wouldn't have been as entertaining. But the movie still was terrible.
I loved the effects. I just love what the Mummy looks like. She looks fucking
I heard she was great.
Yeah.
I heard that she was awesome, that the plot line itself was very mediocre.
Yeah.
That's what I was told.
I heard it was mostly alright.
Yeah.
Like but that makes me sad.
Yeah.
Because the whole like universe itself made me go, that's awesome.
That could have been amazing.
This would have been great.
Yeah.
Why'd you do this? Don't try to remake this movie. Don't try to take this movie and because this movie was a remake of the other one. Mm-hmm. But like, don't try to remake this. Or if you were going to try to remake this, do it properly. So like, don't try to like modernize it. Bring it back to this time. Bring it back to the 20s. Don't try to force it into the current modernized universe. Don't do that.
I totally agree with you.
Was it modern day?
Yes, it was modern day.
Yeah.
Like, don't modernize it.
That's why I think this movie works.
Yes, because it's old.
Yeah, it doesn't try to do it. Yeah.
As like period.
Yeah, it doesn't try to do anything more.
Right.
Than that. It's like, okay, you got it. You got me. You're in this setting.
Right.
I'm in.
Leave it in this setting.
Yeah, I'm in. Yeah.
Don't bring it to...
Yeah.
Once you take this stuff out and try to modernize it, you ruin it.
I agree.
And that's...
Yeah, I agreed. I mean, it's still, like... Even where, like, things happen where they set up booby traps and, like, they're flesh-eating scarabs and... You know, it's here, and then when, Hot Pants Dance Off Town starts to collapse, where I mean, still.
This particular part, there's a lot to unpack in this part. Because, like I said, you've got all this stuff going on.
They're trying to escape human parent trap,
Right,
yeah.
Excuse me.
My favorite scene
God
in this
damn it.
whole part, though, is when Evie is fighting an Oxydamoon, and Jonathan is the one holding the book.
I can't make out. It's like a
It's like a bird, a stork. It's
stork,
just
yeah.
like it's a metaphus. Oh yes, I see.
Oh right,
I didn't know he knew that Jonathan knew anything about reading any of that.
Because he and Evie were brought up in the same house.
Oh yeah, I knew
So-
she did, but I didn't.
Yeah, so he can read it. He's just not as good.
Yeah.
So she's like, read the fucking inscription. And he's like, okay, it's in a manifest.
Yeah.
And
he goes acetaminophen and he takes control of the mummies.
And he's like, oh god, I can't remember the actual thing. But he tells them basically, kill an Oxydamoon.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. And they literally kill her exactly the same way they killed her at the very beginning of the movie.
True.
And it's like...
She killed herself.
They kill her the way that the two of them killed the Pharaoh.
Yeah.
It's like exactly the same way.
Yeah.
They stabbed him.
Repeatedly.
And
at
a
length.
lot. Yeah. And it's like it's silhouette, it's shadow, but it's done exactly the same way.
And of course, Imhotep is not well pleased by this.
Yeah.
And we got big long fight scene.
I like the keep him busy.
Yeah.
Keep him busy as they're reading through the
In the video game, this would be survive.
Yeah.
keep him busy while they read the book of Amun-Ra.
And while they're trying to read it too, I think you can imagine if this was the video game, this would be the fast scrolling forward portion of it.
This would be the part where you play as Rick and it goes full Dark Souls, and you just have to survive the fight.
Hack and slash.
Yeah.
So you think that, and I'm thinking it's like a whatchamacallit? Quick time event.
Yeah.
Oh no! Don't do that.
Yeah, it's a quick time
Don't
event.
do
This
that.
part is a quick time event right now.
That's what I was thinking.
This ain't a
too.
cutscene. Press A. You still playing, bitch? Oh, dude, sorry.
Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. So, I mean, Ben actually sets up booby trap, looting the city of riches. The scarabs come around as Hot Pants dance uptown, human parent trap. Whatever, I've lost words on that one.
Hamanoptera.
Yeah. I ain't gonna get it.
It's fine.
Yeah, I ain't gonna get it. I ain't trying it. Yeah.
Oh, wait, because
Ham and caltrops.
You've got
I'm gonna go have an
Yeah.
They find the Book of Amun-Ra.
Yeah.
They open the Book of Amun-Ra. They read the Book of Amun-Ra.
Yeah.
And they take away Imhotep's immortality.
Basically, the sun chariot swoops by and goes yoink and takes his immortality away.
Yeah. And he did.
Yep. And then Rick stabs him.
He gets stabbed a couple of times, then falls into goop because this is the most video gamey looking moment.
Yeah.
Because of course he has to stumble backwards into the goop because that's where the game was designed for him to have his death scene, but you beat him over on this side of the arena. so the cutscene's got to warp you to the center, and that's where you hit him.
But then you get the tagline to the movie.
Yeah.
Because you have to have the tagline to the movie.
Which was?
Death is only the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Sequel bait?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Death is only the beginning.
We saw it. We saw it. It was immediately aggregated, set up for a sequel.
Of course.
Oh.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a damn good one. And that's,
Then you get, you get to see Benny's comeuppance.
Yeah.
Because Benny this entire time has been running back and forth,
has been a greasy
stealing gold. He's
motherfucker.
been stealing gold and putting it on the camels and trying to get away, but he's been too greedy and he keeps running back and forth.
Keeps going back for more,
Yeah.
and more, and more, and he ends up trapped.
Yeah.
And as they're running away, because he's the one actually. Now, this is a little bit of if you've been paying attention to the movie, and because I've seen this movie a zillion times, at the very beginning when they're talking about Hamanoptera, it's Evie who actually says it.
Yeah.
Ham and eggs that I have got it.
Do.
They mentioned that basically there's like this kill switch.
Yeah.
That if you hit this switch,
Yeah.
Hominopter will literally fold in on itself.
Yeah.
And
more like
will...
pieces breaching like freaking whales.
Yes. But it will essentially cave in on itself and it will bury itself and it'll bury itself forever and nobody will ever be able to find it. And Benny is the one who finds this switch. He leans up against the wall. He puts a bag on what looks like this piece that's sticking out of the
like a
wall.
hook.
Yeah.
And it lowers it down, and he basically hits the kill switch. He's the one who causes everything to fall in on itself.
Strange architecture, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
But he's the one who does it.
Yeah.
So that's why when he does it, and after Imhotep basically dies, that's when shit starts to get real, and everything's falling in on itself. So that's when, Rick and Jonathan and Evie are like, fuck, we gotta get out of here. So they start running for the exits. Benny, too, starts running for the exit, except he's an idiot.
Yeah.
And he's still carrying these bags of gold.
Yeah.
So, of course, it's weighing him down.
There was an animated series for The Mummy.
There was?
Oh.
I did not know that.
The Adventures of Alex O'Connell as archaeologist parents.
Huh.
Alex is their son.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Like I said, he's a little fucking pain in the ass. I've seen the second movie. He annoys the shit out of me.
And Tom Kenny does a voice in it.
Does he?
The voice of SpongeBob.
I know. But yeah, so they managed to get out. Benny, however, does not.
Bye, Benny.
And yeah, even after every single stupid piece of shit thing that he does, Rick still tries to save him. He just doesn't manage to.
Yeah.
But he's not overly broken up over that either.
Yeah, the fact that he doesn't get out. He's like, yep, sorry,
well,
buddy.
I tried. I don't have to beat myself up over it.
Yeah. And then Benny gets swarmed by scarabs and couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Yep.
I would have at least tried to jump on the scarab and see if you could smash him a little bit, but
There were so many of them.
they're like land piranhas in this movie.
They are like land piranhas.
It's like
You're not wrong.
you need AoE to take care of a swarm. You can't just
Yes.
shoot a gun into it.
No, Rick tries many times.
Yep.
And then,
So that's a bit of advice for anyone playing D&D. A swarm needs AoE.
Jonathan has a great line through. He's like, we basically walk away with nothing. And Rick's like, I wouldn't say that. And,
And he's
and
just
Jonathan's,
like,
oh, please.
Oh, Lord.
And then then Jonathan and Evie start making out, and Rick and Evie start making out, because, otherwise that's incest.
Gross.
And Jonathan walks over to a camel, and he's like, what about you, darling? Would you like a little kissy-wissy? Yeah.
Right in his face. Oh, God, never mind.
And he's like, oh.
And, yeah, they walk off into the sunset, and everything's hunky-dory.
Oh,
Everything.
and Ardith is,
And
he's also there.
because
Yep.
one of those camels was the one that
has all the gold on it.
so they'll be doing pretty well.
Yeah, they have at least one bag worth of gold that Benny had secured to a camel.
And Ardith is like, basically, he's like, hey guys, you have basically my, our ultimate
respect.
respect. And,
I don't know what I'm going to do with my life now, but,
He's like, you guys, thanks. I think he shows up in the sequel, too. I don't remember. I think he shows up in the sequel.
I do not have the battery power to look it up.
I don't remember, but that's basically how this ends.
Yeah.
And that's the
So
movie.
that's The Mummy. 1999, Brendan Fraser's The Mummy. So,
I liked it.
I
I really enjoyed
was
it.
paying attention.
Yeah, you were glued to
It's a
it.
fun
Yeah.
movie.
Yep.
It's,
It really is a
And that's-
great one.
and that's the whole, that was the whole point behind what I wanted to do for this month. It's like, you don't really have to think that hard about it.
Yeah.
It's just a fun thing to watch. It's a fun time.
It's decent. Like, it's got a decent soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Like
It does.
Yeah, it's got a decent soundtrack.
It's not overly intrusive. It doesn't
No.
get in the way of itself.
No.
It just
The people who are actors in it, they're not truly A-listers, I want to say. Brendan Fraser was a name that people knew, so he was an A-lister, but it wasn't like he's a superstar.
Yeah, Rachel Weisz has done pretty well.
But she wasn't at that point. She was sort of a no-name at that
everyone
point.
Else
She's
was
gotten much better.
Everyone else were basically character actors.
They were character actors. They were people that you could be hey, I know that guy. He was in this movie.
That's the guy he's always a librarian. That's the guy who's always the pompous British asshole.
But you weren't going to look at this guy and be like, oh my god, he's famous person here. Oh my god, that's... These were people that you could pick out and be like, oh yeah, I saw him in this movie, but there weren't major big names. Yeah. But this movie made a lot of money.
And even Arnold Vosloo, who played Emotep, even him, he gets mistaken for Billy Zane.
Which is not surprising.
A lot, honestly. A lot here. And people ask him, they're like, "Aren't you the guy from Titanic?" He said, "Yeah, yes."
He says yes.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah,
I love it."
Yeah, he's like,
"Yeah, sure, why not?"
He doesn't really say yes. He goes, "Of course I am." Just to keep riding with it. You don't
know that I wasn't in Titanic.
Yeah.
I love that.
He's just riding with it.
I fucking love that.
It's right here. So, interview with Charlie Rosen on several podcasts. He's saying that he looks similar to American actor Billy Zane, according to Vosloo. When people come up and ask him, "Aren't you that guy from Titanic?" he always replies, of course I am. Haven't you seen me in my many other films?"
This poor bastard.
I thought he was really good.
He is.
Yeah,
he's
I thought
he
was
actor.
really, really good. And I mean, this one was absolutely a pleasure for this.
Yep. It's one of my favorite movies. It's legitly one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
I enjoy it thoroughly.
Alright, so let's take a quick break.
Okay.
Hear from a little bit about 4041 Media. We'll come back with some fantasy casting.
See you soon. Hey everybody, thanks so much for listening.
Movie Theater Time Machine is a part of the 4041 Media Group with podcasts like Sake Your Crime and Free Your Geek, which you can check out at 4041media.com. That's all squished together one word, and the numbers are written as numbers.
Now it's time to tell us what you think. If you got an opinion or wanted to know what's coming up next,
find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by searching for Movie Theater Time Machine.
Now our podcast will always be free to subscribe and share.
But if you'd like to help us build a bigger, better podcast, not to mention our confidence, you can find merchandise designed by me, Kaz, at Zazzle. Or check out the Kaz Foxen's Animal Shop at Zazzle for cute animal gifts and pet supplies.
Thanks so much, and back to the show. And we're back! Oh man, okay, fantasy casting.
Okay, so, Josh, you were saying you had one?
Yeah, you might as well go, yeah.
I do have one.
Yeah.
Because I want to replace the guy who plays Benny with Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
I can see,
Yeah, I was thinking about him because I'm like, okay, like some of the movies were like Brendan Fraser movies, so I'm like, okay, where can I put Pauly Shore? Where can I do that? I'm like, Steve Buscemi's an Airhead. It's kind of funny because I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
Because I did a little like looking up earlier on my IMDb search, and I didn't realize that Brendan Fraser's character Link shows up in like 2 different Pauly Shore movies.
Does he?
He does.
Link from Encino Man shows up in both in the Army one that Pauly Shore did, and in Jury Duty.
Yeah. I didn't see Jury Duty.
I didn't see either of them because it's Pauly goddamn Shore.
I've seen the Army one because what's her name is in it. The one from Tank Girl.
Yeah.
Lori Petty?
Lori Petty. Lori Petty's in the Army one with him.
My one true celebrity love?
Well, she's in... I'm surprised you haven't seen the Army one then, because she plays his love interest in the Army one. Because they have to make, like, clean water. I remember that... Don't ask me why I remember this very specific thing about the Army one. That they have to make clean water. And they do it.
Now I'm just picturing Biodome. Making a filter.
Or you can just use bed sheets. When am I going to do all these cigarette butts? Don't worry, you did a good thing.
Good job picking them up. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I saw that one, too.
Uh-huh.
I saw it at the theater.
I didn't see it in the theaters, but...
I did. Yeah.
God, why have I seen so many Pauly Shore movies?
He was
Pinocchio. I didn't see that one.
He was a thing for a time.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Leaning Tower of Cheese. Goofy,
Oh man,
the Goofy movie's better than we thought it was.
Yeah.
That one is a good movie.
Yeah.
That is a good movie.
As you get older, you gotta like, just go on the camping trip with him, Max. It means so much to him. Looks like that's a 5.
It's a 5 and it's a 21.
All right, cool.
So yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Steve Buscemi's got that kind of the ability to be slimy that you need for Benny.
Yes.
All right.
And he's very good in Airheads. So
he is.
yeah. So so we know the two of them work well together.
Although he's basically playing in Airheads, he's kind of just playing like the it's like the bass player from Spinal Tap.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Put hot sauce in a machine gun. There you go.
Yes, yeah. In that one he plays like that one friend that is going to end up arrested one day.
Yeah.
It's like they're going to do something stupid.
Yeah, most likely to be arrested in the yearbook.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I got one here for Warden Gad Hassan.
Okay.
God, who?
Taking, I'm going to totally butcher this. I didn't want to try it earlier, but I figured I'd give it a shot. Omid D. Halil. Replacing him with John Lovitz.
Oh my. Okay.
God.
And fuck.
That's a 6.
Yeah.
It stinks.
Oh yeah? Okay. Imhotep replacing with Invader Zim because more organs means more human.
Fantastic idea.
The dice didn't think so. Snake eyes.
What is wrong with you? Have you the brainworms?
Yeah.
So
I remember
can he be replaced by Gurr?
Is this an episode of the X-Files? What just happened?
I remember years
How did I
ago
get
I
2
made
ones? What are the odds of that?
That's a real bad botch is what that is.
Ugh.
I remember years ago I actually made an Invader Zim mega mix with a I don't have a copy of it anymore, unfortunately, but it was just like a techno beat with just random Zim quotes that I that I totally legally obtained and put into this mega mix. It was great.
And so a dib would be Rick.
Yeah. Oof.
So why don't we just exchange Imhotep with Billy Z?
Well, no. If we have a brother, hold on. If we have a brother and sister in it, it's got to be Evie and Jonathan, or Gaz, or Dib and Gaz.
Yeah. But then who else would be investigating?
That's the problem, because the only other real character in it is Professor Utonium.
What?
Wrong guy. No, Professor Membrane.
Yes.
Professor Utonium is Powerpuff Girls. That'd be a straight.
You're just doing crossovers here.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it's all about.
I mean, I'd watch the Powerpuff Girls beat the shit out of Zim.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That would be.
Although we're going in other directions here.
Yeah.
All right, I got one here.
It's not stupid.
So
it's advanced.
Yeah. So we're gonna play a 2 for 1 here. I don't know if the dice are gonna like it. Taking out. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna stop for a second because I just gotta look up the actor's name. But
yeah, quickly, vamp while he looks it up.
All right, I got it.
Barry for Jonathan?
I got it. So, Justin Roiland replacing. Those of you who know, I'm getting some food upstairs, but it's going to make sense in a second. Justin Roiland replacing Brendan Fraser, and Sarah Chalk replacing Rachel Weisz. You get.
Justin Roiland is Rick and Morty fame, isn't he?
Rick Sanchez.
Thought so.
Yeah. Rick Sanchez and Sarah Chalk is Summer.
Oh.
So.
Fuck you, Summer.
Yeah. And.
So Morty is Jonathan?
Yeah, Morty is Jonathan.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think you could play with a corpse in a sarcophagus.
Yeah, we got some gold. We're gonna go figure out Egypt, Morty. So that's gonna be kind of fun. We're gonna go get this one right here.
I haven't seen very much Rick and Morty, but some little bits that I've seen, I don't know. Morty might screw around with a corpse in a casket.
He'd screw around with a robot,
Yeah,
which he did.
yeah. It created a freaking space baby.
Yep.
Yeah, that happened.
That space baby, that one.
Yeah.
But, which is to be differentiated from incest space baby.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was, that's a thing that happened, yeah.
Joss has a terribly distressed look
That's
on her
because
face.
it involved a horse ejaculator.
Yeah. Yeah, or he
I
found it and he
remember
just
how-
like, no, don't save me, I'm okay.
Was that the Plumbus?
No.
No.
Or Mr. Meeseeks?
No.
Existence is pain!
Yeah. Mr. Meeseeks is a funny episode, though, but it's more so. My idea of it is.
Joss lives under a rock and has no idea what Rick and Morty is.
I know what Rick and Morty is. I just I don't know what
Giant space baby.
Yeah.
No, the
Yeah.
sex robot was some kind of turned out to be a reproduction thing that made a alien baby.
Yeah. I love it,
that
Rick.
makes
I
more
really
sense.
do. Yeah.
At no point
If
during
it
any of that
absorbed
was I in
or
control of
something.
anything.
Yeah. And with Rick having, so you have this one with Rick coming in and saying, okay, there's going to be gold. We're going to have to figure out somebody. So it basically becomes a 5-minute movie.
Okay.
Where he shoots the portal to the other universes into the other room. Oh, wow, like an hieroglyphs. Okay, good. They bury their people. Wow, mummification. Kind of stupid. There's Summer as Sarah Chalk, everything's kind of lame. Going through everything, knows everything, figures it out, and end of movie.
Oh, how about Summer ends up with Imhotep, but then, you know, she
It
just
doesn't
gets
work
bored.
out. Yeah.
Kind of like how she ended up with that guy with the bucket on his head in the post-apocalyptic universe. And then Rick introduced technology that turned the exciting post-apocalypse land into some kind of boring suburbia.
That was
You're
great.
mentioning that horse machine thing. What the fuck was the name of that show? Ugly Americans. Do you remember that show?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ugly Americans, yes.
With the scientist robot, that its whole thing was to spread the scientist's seed,
God, yes.
but
I don't
like
remember
it
that.
killed the scientist getting the seed from him.
Oh, like
Death by Snoo Snoo, essentially.
no,
Yes.
it's you were just watching the clips from Community. the tube of semen. How what's his face died.
Pierce died?
Yes.
We're going to tell you how Pierce died. Oh my god, he died from filling all the tubes of semen.
That was his will.
That's where I want to go, but I'm weird.
To everybody in the study group, he bequeathed a tube of frozen semen.
Gross.
Sounds about Chevy Chase, though.
Yeah.
An army of geniuses.
Oh, good lord.
On that note,
Alright, on that note, we cue the music. So, yeah. Alright, so that was The Mummy, 1999, Brendan Fraser, etc., etc. So, next week, going to be finishing off Pulp Adventure Month with, it's a little less pulpy, but definitely an adventure movie. We're going to be watching The Road to El Dorado. Basically a movie about what happens when the Rogue and the Bard go off on their own and have their own adventure.
Alright, so be good, take care of yourselves, and don't be too good.